from something as small as a lighter. Okay. All right. How do we light it? We're going to make a little smoke here. We're going to bring our acetylene on. I want you to watch what happens with the tip. See the flame jump away from it? Bring it back down until it comes back to the torch tip. Now bring on our oxygen. I have what's called a carbonizing flame right there. You see I've got more gas than I do oxygen, so I don't have a complete combustion. You see, right now I see 2 cones in there. If I bring it on down, I should start seeing 3 cones. Do y'all see 3 cones? Okay. Bring the 2 inner cones together for your oxygen. I now have a neutral flame. Oops, jump back up on me. There you have them. Okay, that's a neutral flame. If I add more oxygen, I now have an oxidizing flame. You hear it? I want a neutral flame for the type of work that we're going to do right there. Okay? Now, I'm going to leave that one over there for the time being. Hopefully you've got eye protection. Okay, some people's eyes are far more sensitive to light than others. You need something to shade them down, do it. You're not being a sissy. Okay? Believe you me, if you've never had your eyes burnt, I can tell you firsthand, you don't want it to happen. It's just like being on that sandy beach and somebody throws sand in your eyes and you can't get it out. I guarantee you there's nothing you can do for the pain. Nothing. I wasn't misdoing when it happened to me. I was helping my dad. He was welding. We had just painted some walls in a building. And they were bright, white, clean. You don't ever see that in the shop. But that's the way they were. And I was not watching him doing the welding, but I was helping him. And I was focusing my eyes on the wall. Later on that day, my eyes got to burning. That night, I still remembered, I was a kid, but that night, I was a miserable individual. And don't know if they have remedies for it today, but they didn't then. You know what they told me? It'll go away. It took like seemed forever. But I did burn my eyes like that, and I'm sure it can still happen. So if your eyes are very sensitive to light, don't do that. Okay, make sure you get some eye protection. All right, let's talk about the acetylene air torch. Our acetylene air torch, and this happens to be Uniwell. One of the brand names is Turbo torch. But the tip comes out like so. Okay? In order to be able to change the heat range, we don't up and down the flame here, we change the tip side. But I want you to watch the way the tip is rolling on the inside when I light this up. You see the rotation. See that? See how the flame is swirling? Okay. I cut it off, but I'm not touching that tip because that flame popped back down in there. This tip is hot right now. Okay? The acetylene and air going through this tip is what keeps it cool. By the way, that's what you use to light the torch. Right there. Light it. Right. If I run that torch tip like that, if I run it very long, it's going to overheat that torch tip and burn it. In fact, that little bit of time right there wasn't long. You hear it? See that? That little bit of time. Okay? If I'm running it proper, see how the fan goes? Watch what happens when I turn it off. You see it beginning to evaporate? That little bit of gas coming back and burning, but if I'm running it at a too slow of a rate, it's going to burn up that tip. Okay. Do I have any questions up to this point about the torches? Yes.
So that one got a mixture of the chemical and air?
No, no, this is acetylene coming out of our tank here. Acetylene, but it mixes with the air. These ports right here pull in the air. There's a jet right back in the tip itself that's pushing through the torch tip, but it actually circulates the air, the air and the acetylene together to get a good mix. I didn't cover another torch. One other thing, a little trivia. That tank, that's called a B tank. We also have some other smaller tanks that we call M tanks. Anybody know where those letters come from? Anybody want to guess? I'll back up. Anybody old enough in here to remember when cars had gas lights on them? Me either. Okay, but the lights on an automobile used to be powered by acetylene. Okay, the B stood for bus. You would have found a tank like this on the bus for the lighting on a bus. The small tank was M for motor car. Okay, so that's how those designations got. By the way, I want a little gift, door gift, by knowing that, so maybe y'all have the same opportunity. All right, I have one more torch that I'd like to point out. This is MAP gas. MAP gas does not burn as hot as the acetylene air, nor as hot as the oxyacetylene, but it will do many jobs that you will need to do in this particular field. Now, it's going to have some limitations. Number one, with the tank attached, it's going to be a little bit bulky to get in certain places. They do make one now that has a hose on the tank, regulator and all, a little better setup. This particular one has automatic lighter in it, so okay. And a lot of these torches, and I don't know about this particular one, but they can be used for different gases, including MAP and propane. I don't know about this particular one, but again, you don't want to run it low. You'll burn up the tip. Okay? Again, just be careful with them. You know, one of the things that most folks don't realize is when I have this torch running, we see about this much of the flame. If we were out here in the dark, we'd find our flame would be way out here. Okay? We can see that in the dark. We can't see it in the light. Here's the thing. When you're working, and I want to give it an example. If I'm working on something, it's just natural for me to protect myself. I don't care, that's just the way it is. Okay? I don't care how brave we are or how conscious we are of people around us. It's natural for us to protect ourselves. If I'm working on something, when I take my eyes off of what I'm doing right here, where's this hand going to go?
Where your eyes going?
And the flame's going to go away from me, right? If you're standing behind somebody that's working, and they have a little something even happen here, what's going to happen? They're going to pull back, right? If you're behind them, you're going to get hurt. Okay, when you're working this project, or even anywhere, caution people. Don't be looking over my shoulder. Don't be standing behind me. Give me room to do my job. Okay, if you got a helper, and many times you may have, especially on installation and bigger piping jobs, be aware that your helper is probably going to be the one to get hurt on the job from something like that. Caution. Don't stay away from me, I'm dangerous. But you're doing them a favor, okay? All right. No doubt, getting burnt is not fun. Y'all know skin melts. That sounds bad, don't it? The skin melts. And it ain't fun. All right. I hate to always use examples, but I think it's worth doing. We got two arms, 2 hands, and sometimes we need that third, right? Y'all gonna think I hang around some of the dumbest people, but this actually happened. A guy's needing 2 hands, he's got one of these torches. So what's he do? He does something like this right here. He's using it, this torch slips, it comes down somehow or another across right there, it just makes a white 2nd and 3rd degree burns that quick. Took him several months to get over it. Okay? Got to keep this rolling. Got to keep it being used. Okay, let's set back up so we can actually do some soldering and start off with. Do y'all need a break? Y'all want to? Let's take 5.